Why is the Lectron BILLETRON the best carburetor? Man, well, in a lot of ways, that question is as simple as the BILLETRON itself. I mean, over the last several years, each iteration of the Lectron carburetor has gotten better and better, and they all have one common denominator, which is they just work. And when you build a really great product that brings a ton of value to your customers, that really is the bottom line. Performance-wise, I've always been able to count on the reliability of our Lectron carburetors. And for me, it's always been one of those products that just grants you instant gratification. The minute you put it in your bike and fire it up, you know it's running different. You can feel it right away. That's always been one of my favorite things about these carburetors. I've run them high, I've run them low, mountains, trails, motocross, doesn't matter. They always run the same. And not only that, but they keep getting better. I've been using Lectrons as far back as the Legacy unit, if you remember that. And then they came out with the H series, which offered a little bit more bottom end. And now we're into the BILLETRON, the third iteration I've used, and it has major, like mega grunt on the bottom. And I was super impressed because I was fortunate enough to receive one of these carburetors early on, pre-release. It was actually still a prototype, and I could not believe how much better it was than the H series. Testing with the new BILLETRON blew my mind because I was totally shocked at the amount of torque this sucker had over the H series. I really could not believe it. And no matter what generation of the Lectron we ran, Legacy, H series, BILLETRON, they were always reliable, they were always consistent, and they always had way smoother and more well-metered power as you got into the RPM range. And of course, they always look super trick. When you see that yellow Lectron fuel line, you know something cool is going on inside that motorcycle. Another great feature all those iterations of Lectron carburetors had in common was simplicity. In all the bikes we've used them in, all the years I've been running them, we've only ever made one stinking metering rod adjustment, which is unbelievable, just one. Most of the time, we're able to just set the idle and enjoy what seems to be a completely different motorcycle. And on the super rare occasion that I actually had to adjust a metering rod, it's super easy. You pop the screws out of the lid, you use your special tool, richen or lean the metering rod, put some screws back in the lid, and you're pretty much done. It's very simple. And nowadays they even have something they call the Easy Tuning Kit. Basically, the screws in the lid of the carburetor are replaced with these thumb dials, so you can actually just pull over, track side, trail side, spin these thumb dials out, spin your metering rod, spin the thumb dials back in, and you're done. I really like the new Easy Tuning Kit. That was a brilliant idea. And what's even cooler is that externally, there's a screw on the back of every Lectron I've ever seen, and you can actually adjust the amount of fuel your top end is getting. It's called a power jet. Spin it in, spin it out, richen it, lean it. So easy. I mean, maybe you're a really fast guy and you want to protect the engine a little bit, spin that power jet open just a hair, get a little more fuel at the top of that circuit. Or maybe you want to stretch a little bit more RPM out of that power band. You can close that and lean it up just a little bit. Whatever the case, it is ridiculously simple to do. I mean, you could always go back to your old carburetor. You could swap your main, your pilot, your needle clip position. You can get your carburetor perfect, all just to have to do it all over again next time you go to a higher elevation or the temperature changes outside, maybe the humidity. Across the board, the Lectron is the best and the easiest when it comes down to simplicity and ease of use. Outside of the fact that we've had amazing success running Lectrons in both our 2-strokes and 4-strokes, yes, they actually make a 4-stroke version if you need it and you didn't know that. The staff at Lectron has been absolutely phenomenal. Thanks to Lectron's tech support, I've been able to stuff these carburetors in really weird machines that you wouldn't even think of putting them in. I've been able to get replacement parts, and I've never, not one time, had any sort of catastrophic failure, major issue. There was this one time where we accidentally shipped a guy a wrong carburetor. Not a big deal. We got it replaced. Everybody's happy. But man, what a time to be alive. We are so fortunate that we have a company like Lectron dumping money, R&D, testing, innovation into 2-strokes. I love that. So if you got a 2-stroke, they've got you covered. You got a 4-stroke, got you covered. You have a Harley, got you covered. Something really weird, they might have you covered. And as if we even needed any more cherries on top, you can grab a brand new BILLETRON, try it for 30 days. If for some strange reason you don't like it, you can send it back. So, I mean, what more do you want? So yeah, that's why the BILLETRON from Lectron is the best.